Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One was over there where Cutter's Edge Pro. It's not coming out now. Come on. Come on, wind. Give me a little wind. No, unfortunately. But there you go. And this one says Big O here. There you go. So there's my putting green. It's about, I would say about 25 feet, something like that. I get to practice, have a little fun. See? And then, of course, we got, the bunkers. Got to have the bunkers, man. Got all kinds of bunkers there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a taste of our backyard. There's Maiden right there. Maiden. Bono, how you doing, Bono? Bono. He's a Carolina dog, by the way. These dogs are amazing. Their temperaments are awesome. But there is the Sylvester Palm, which is just beautiful. All right, call my guys, Will and Mike at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will take care of you. Dogs are not included, okay? Can't include the dogs. Those are mine.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura Integra for only $289 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till...
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
South Florida, listen carefully. Osmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Osmani Garcia delivers results. Osmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Where can you drive a new Acura ZDX for only $439 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty, welcome aboard. I wish it was on better terms. I wish we were going to talk about some really good news, some really special free agent signing, some big time trades, something along those lines, but luckily I don't do a show for every Tyreek Hill screw up, because then, I'd be on all the damn time, and, I have a life. But today we got to talk about the latest incident with Tyreek and delve into this disturbing story, because believe it or not, it's disturbing. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Let me see. LFP, so 30 minutes of advertising. Okay, let's block his ass. Let me see. Let me make sure this LFP idiot here gets blocked forever. Ban user. There we go. Since I don't have Sean, I got to do it myself. Yes, block. So there you go. Now you're, the idiot doesn't know that, without Welton Rayom, I'm not on to do this. Without Subaru of Pembroke Pines or Acura or Toyota, So anyway, besides the assholes that have no idea that this is like a business, you know what I'm saying? I have to make a living, and so does Sean. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's talk about it, because, why even bother with these idiots? But I like it because it forces them to, if they want to comment again, they have to get a new email and all that. So it's awesome. Anyway, Tyreek Hill had his latest run-in with his wife. And, this fool, it's one thing after another. And, the worst part about all of this is that it's self-inflicted. And that's the worst part about all of this. Look, I can laugh at a shit ton of you because a whole bunch of you wanted to pay Tyreek. Okay? Whole bunch of you. It was a minority that didn't, like myself, that said, do not pay him. Okay? So, but it's all right. You're not a professional. Neither am I. Okay? We don't get paid to do this, but the Dolphins get paid to do this. Okay? And they were worried about him acting up or whatever. Well, that's what he does normally. So why would you don't give a brat what they need. You make them earn it. That's the problem. And you unfortunately committed to him and you gave him the money and now you're locked in. And then the worst part about all this Tyreek stuff, it's not that the Dolphins are, they made the bad decision. Okay. Front office screwed up. They made a bad decision in guaranteeing this clown all that money. Forget it. Okay. But the worst thing is, I have to deal with some of you out there. Oh, trade him, or they can't trade him. They weren't going to trade him and they couldn't trade him before this. This just puts you deeper into the abyss. Okay. So here's the story. Channel 10 first broke it. So let's give them credit, and let's give Ryan Mackey, the digital journalist, and Rosh Lowe, the reporter, the credit. Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill involved in a domestic dispute with his wife in their high-rise condominium in Sunny Isles. According to the incident report obtained by Channel 10 on Wednesday, officers at Sunny Isles Police Department responded just before 2 p.m. at the 1800 block of Collins Avenue following a report of an assault in progress. When they arrived, police said they spoke with Hill, his wife Keeta Hill, and her mother Alicia Vaccaro. Vaccaro told police officers that she'd been living with the couple since last November, shortly after the birth of their granddaughter. She described Hill, 31, as very aggressive and impulsive, and she said she feared for her daughter's safety, the report stated. I'm going to get into a lot of this psychological bullshit that's going on here too, by the way. Authorities said Vaccaro called police after claiming that she witnessed Tyreek Hill throwing a laptop on the floor, then grabbed his daughter and began walking towards the balcony of their 35th floor balcony in the residence. Their 35th floor residence. Following the argument with his wife, Keeta Hill told police that she and Tyreek had been arguing more frequently and stated that whenever she gives an opinion on anything they discuss, he becomes angry and throws objects around. She said the two had been attending couples therapy, but it's not working out. Really? Look at him. He just looks so stable and person you want to have a relationship. When you look at Tyreek Hill, you say, yeah, I want him to father my children. I'm not sure what woman says that. We'll get into that. Anyway, Keeta Hill also stated she's in the process of filing for a divorce. During the most recent argument, police said Tyreek told her that she wasn't involved, that Tyreek wasn't involved enough with their child. She then said Tyreek Hill became irritated, without malice, grabbed the baby and began walking with her. Authorities said Tyreek told officers he had just returned from training and was discussing therapy with his wife when the argument escalated. Police said he admitted to grabbing the baby, saying, I have the same rights as a father as her, the mother. I can take the baby wherever I want. Although both Hill and his wife stated the argument never turned physical, officers say they observed a bruise on Keeta Hill's upper chest. She told them it may have happened unintentionally when Hill took the baby from her. It's a pretty aggressive way to take it. Officers noted the child appeared to be in good health, which is good. Keeta Hill declined to provide a written statement to police. They said Tyreek Hill left the condo around 2:40 p.m. in the presence of officers, and no arrests were made. Police issued a case card to Keeta Hill, who said they remained at the residence with her mother and the child. Monday's incident is the latest in a string of yada, 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 and then they go into the whole thing and their history and his history, and we know his history and all the bullshit that he's done. A lot of layers here to talk about. Okay, first of all, this fool will be so broke, as I've been telling you for a while. You don't have 13 kids with 8 baby mamas or whatever it is, 12 kids. And I think she's pregnant again or something. I think she's pregnant again, actually. So you're going to have all these kids, all these baby mamas. You don't make that kind of money. believe it or not. With the money he's making, when we start taking away taxes and the agent and all the expenses and all the baby mamas and all those kids have got to live, and you have now given Keeta a second kid, and not for nothing, but when I read that report, I see the mom states that she was worried for her daughter's safety and granddaughter's safety. The wife states that they are going to couples therapy and it ain't working. She states that they're getting that she's going to be filing for a divorce. They state that he's been aggressive lately. She states that he gets aggressive and when she offers an opinion. Do you understand what that report had? That report had recorded statements on the state of where things are at. And you all heard it all from one side, baby. Okay? This is something that runs deep, 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 deep. And, I'm just saying you get yourself deeper and deeper in a situation because you're giving another kid up. And you have developed a lifestyle of a big-ass house and a condo and all that. And those kids are going to require that level of living for the next 18 years. And all the other kids, they stated, you're not involved enough with the child. I mean, there is a deliberate approach to all of this. And it puts him completely, I mean, he's a moron. He's irresponsible. He's an idiot. He never wears protection. He's in trouble constantly. I mean, Tyreek is Tyreek. And, that's why he runs the wrong routes. That's why he drops passes, because he lacks concentration, professionalism, everything. He was just blessed by the Lord, and he's gotten by on talent. He hasn't gotten by on anything else. He's a failure at everything else, to be quite honest. And so this is just, and you have a player now who is a mental midget and now has to deal with all of this too. So you think he can compartmentalize and put one thing off the field? Because I've watched him for a couple of years and he's a constant screw up. And he's constantly in trouble and constantly having issues off the field. He's had issues since he got here all the way till now. And it never, ever stops. Never stops. Never stops. Freaking amazing, dude. It blows me away how this guy is a constant screw up. It's sad. It's sad that somebody can be so dumb and can't figure out that you were given a gift from the Lord, and all you got to do is grow up, become a mature adult. You've got kids all over the damn place. Become a father. You apparently are married. And you're still screwing around and having, like, she's got all the ammunition. He's a screw up as a father. He's a screw up as a husband. He screws other women and constantly have kids. By the way, let me ask you something. They were playing football with the IG model in the backyard. How come there's no video? The IG model that broke her leg? Wondering. There's video. I mean, there's an athlete playing football in the backyard with an IG model that's really curvy. And there's other people there. Nobody filmed it. It's interesting. It's very interesting. So these are things that if you start to put everything together, she's got a case. He's constantly having kids on the side behind her back. He's not involved with the child. They're going to therapy. It's not where she's gone through the whole process to lay the groundwork to dump his ass and cash in, bro. You know? So it just, I read all of that and it just, I don't look at it as just this is just a dispute between two young people. This is a lot more and a lot deeper. That guy's going to have trouble and on a consistent basis. And by the way, if Keeta's not around, now he's single. This last season with the Dolphins, woo, doggy. This thing is because if the season starts to go awry, you're going to even lose him even more. And he knows he's going to get cut at the end of the year. And he's really not smart enough to go, oh, shit, dude, I am going to get cut by the Dolphins. I'll have some money, but I'm getting a divorce now. I've left 2 kids with this woman. I've got 11 others with like 7, 8 other women, 6 other women, whatever crazy number it is. All that alimony, all of that. Have I done the math? Am I going to have money in 10 years? Probably not. You know, I should be one hell of a citizen in the offseason. I should go out and have the greatest year of my life. So the Dolphins will say, whoa, man, let's keep him one more year because he came back strong. He didn't get in any trouble. And this is what this clown does. All offseason doing stupid shit about getting traded, about all that. And then now he does this. And we're not done. It's April. It's April 9. We have 20 more days in this month. We still have May. We still have June. We still have most of July until he reports in late July. And then who knows after that? But I'm just saying there's a lot of dead time from now till then. Who keeps an eye on that guy? I mean, if I'm the Dolphins, this is something that gets worse and worse by the day, dude. It's disturbing is what's going on with this kid or man or whatever. Idiot, moron. I mean, it's beyond me to think that this guy is just, and this is why I tell you, I am so disappointed and depressed about this upcoming season because I don't have a lot of hope. I don't look at McDaniel like a guy that can raise all ships and rise above and make up for stuff, like Tomlin does all the time in Pittsburgh when he's given a short deck of cards and he figures out a way. And, the McVay with the Rams, he's proven over the last couple of years where it didn't look like the teams were that good, and he gets more than you expect out of them. And you see coaching. We see it with Spo all the time. But I'm just to stay in the sport. I don't expect that. And now this, what I expect? I expect Mike McDaniel to pick up the phone and Tyreek, we just want you to know that you're the father of the Miami Dolphins. That's what I'm expecting from Mike McDaniel. That's all. And of course, why wouldn't Tyreek be he's got enough kids. He should know how to handle 53 if he's got 13. So and he's such a great father figure. So Mike McDaniel should, call him and write him. Hey, Tyreek, don't worry. Hang in there. You're still the father of our football team. This is just brutal, by the way. Just brutal. What do we got here? It sounds like he has Jonathan, it's not a CTE thing. Let's not give him any excuses. He's an idiot. Is what he is. Okay? He's an idiot. I'm nearly 60 years old and I never have done anything like those things like that. And you and I can make maybe one of his mistakes. One. But all of these constantly, we're all human beings, dude. We can forgive and forget. You can screw up and you move on. And that's it. I've screwed up many times. That's it, but not like that. And constantly, no, dude. It's really hard to comprehend. Like, haven't you seen what's been going on with you? But the problem is, he's rewarded every time. Kansas City was the only ones that had the balls, and Miami did not. Just like the Heat effed up with Jimmy Butler. They had to trade him a couple of years ago, but they were too hooked. And they thought this was, reality, and it was going to keep going. It wasn't true. You had a fluky, great run. Now you need to get off the bandwagon and move on. And now you got screwed down the stretch because he screwed you the last couple of years and not playing and creating problems for you. And then he went out with, and the same thing here. The back-to-back 1,700-yard seasons had a lot of you intoxicated, and they were too. And because he is a weak-minded fellow, the people in the building were worried that if they don't give him the guarantees, they would lose him mentally on the field. And the problem this is where the disconnect was with the front office and Tyreek Hill. He doesn't have the mental capacity, the capability to be kept happy or satisfied or whatever. That's not who he is, because he's a child. He's immature. He doesn't know what the hell he wants. He says one thing one day and another thing the other day. It's like he's bipolar. If anything, he's more bipolar, not CTE. Okay? And so this is a guy that, why would you give him the money? People like this, what you have to do is tell them either you straighten your shit out this year or you're out on the street and we don't give you any money. But if you look at all you had so much for the first 2 years. You had a track record of bullshit that he's pulled. If you're the Miami Dolphins and you want to instill any discipline in that guy, last offseason, you tell him, hey, Tyreek, I know you want the money. And guess what? We want to give you the money, dude. We want to give you the money. But you know what? We need a whole year of where you didn't file for a divorce. Your house wasn't turned on fire. Your entourage didn't get in a fight at a comedy club. You didn't smack around an old man at a pier. You didn't get arrested by cops because you were doing 60 miles an hour. We know the cop's a pig. We know the cop's practically a criminal the way he treated you, but you acted like a complete asshole that day. And you brought also that upon yourself because you don't know how to act. They could have done that. And then throughout the year, he would have had more drops. He would have had the screw-ups. You would have added all that. And at the end of the year, you would have said, sorry, Tyreek, we gave you a chance. We did the math. The math doesn't compute. We told you. See ya. Instead, you rewarded him for being a complete asshole for 2 years. And by the way, some of you out there rewarded the asshole by giving him all that attention no matter what he did. The guy that quits on you. So some of you are just as guilty. The thing is, what's fortunate for you and me is we don't get paid to do this, but they do. And they screwed up. And they had the upper hand. For 1 year, they could have made him sweat it out. And they refused to do it. And that's what happens with spoiled brats. That's what happens with punks. That's whatever type of bratty individual it is. If that person knows they can get away with it, you teachers out there, you know which are the students that just don't deserve the break because you've given it to them before and they abused it. There's the kid that you do give a break and they went and they busted their ass and they deserve it. And then that's super satisfactory for you as a teacher. But then there's that kid that he or she is a smart ass. He or she's really not committed. He or she is just a con artist. And that's what that guy is. Tyreek Hill is nothing but a con artist. Has been a con artist. Kansas City saw right through the bullshit. And they said, nah. We milked it. Okay. It's our thing. We draft knuckleheaded receivers. It's what Kansas City does. They drafted another one. I mean, it's what they do. The Moore kid now is the latest one, plus, many others. So it is what it is, but at least they were smart enough to say, yeah, no, we're not committing to you. Okay, the Dolphins did it. It paid off some. It was pretty good, but you had to know, and it's hard to make those decisions. I get it, but that's why you get paid the big bucks. You got to understand it, and you got to be sometimes your fans aren't going to, I know, I took a lot of shit from you people 3 years ago when I said, now's the time to trade Jimmy Butler right after these finals. And you were like, no, you can't do that. And I said, now's the time. You can get a whole bunch of picks. There's a pick. Same thing. X gets the 10 interceptions. I said, now's the time to trade him. I got killed. Same thing with Tyreek. I got killed last year. Don't guarantee him any money. He doesn't deserve it. Don't do it. Boom. It's hard to make those decisions. I can't imagine being in those front offices. The Heat failed it. And then you've seen the Dolphins twice fail at that moment that they had to do it. And plenty of you would have failed at the same time. It's a tough decision. But sometimes you've got to make those decisions. The great organizations know when to part ways with players. The guy you don't part ways with is like the Marino or something, the Jason Taylor, and even that we still lost him towards the end. But, I can see when you get like the super special guy that you want to just keep him there, like the Heat effed up with Dwayne Wade, and they went with Whiteside. Those are things that are baffling. So, our teams have made those bad decisions lately. This is one of them. This was a completely self-inflicted wound because by the end of last year, every one of you would have released Tyreek Hill. And they wouldn't have, they don't give him the guarantee. They take all the shit because I took all the shit from saying, no, don't give him any money. By the end of that season, they're all going, wow, what a move by them. Not guarantee him. Now they can drop this bum. And you all would have been super happy. Now we're all depressed because this guy continues to get in trouble, and you still have 3 more months of an offseason and still another year of putting up with a guy that has proven not to be consistent. He's consistently inconsistent with his hands, with his reputation, with his leadership, which there is none, his character, all of that has none. He has no word at all. He tells you one thing one day and does something completely different. And I want to be a better player. I want to be a better person, yada, yada, yada. And he can never, ever achieve those things. He's a habitual liar, by the way. He doesn't need couples therapy. Tyreek Hill needs therapy, period. He needs to go away somewhere to some retreat for a couple of months, maybe a dark retreat or something. He really needs to go somewhere, bro, where they detox his ass and they put him somewhere. And I don't know, but see if he can find himself and grow up or something, because this is going to end badly. This will end badly. You and I know that. Financially, it's not going to end well. And he doesn't have any other skills. So I'm not sure if he's smart enough to realize all those things, but he's got some serious problems coming. And right now, everyone has been an enabler in his life except for the Kansas City Chiefs. They enabled him in the 5th round, but they took a minor gamble on him, and then they kept him there for a few years. They milked it, and then they moved on, and they went to win more championships without him, which proves all you need to know. Okay? So, it's just crazy. Tyreek will find another female to make more kids with. He crazy. Yeah. Michael says she knew she would get some cash, not blaming her, but just saying this is why she would go into this relationship even after red flags. Exactly. I mean, there's nothing about Tyreek that says you want to have a relationship with that person. By the way, don't forget, you can make a donation on our show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. You can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which we always appreciate that. And of course, we are trying to go to España to cover the Dolphins that week. You can also make a donation to help us go to Spain. We will cover the week's events. We will do our show all week long at a Dolphins bar in Spain. We will do our pre- and post-game show out there. So please help us get to the first stage. Por favor. Anthony Kyle Campos, thank you for the love on the super chat. Says Tyreek Hill's off-season Netflix show will be called Can You Find a Rubber? Any names you got, Big O? Netflix, a Tyreek Netflix special. Wow. What could we call it? Well, I mean, hold on a second. I got it. It is scary, the situation he's in. He does have now 13 kids. Tyreek 1, Tyreek 2, Tyreek the 13th. Okay? There's Friday the 14th, Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th, right? So now we'll be sure, soon we'll be at Tyreek the 14th. So it's kind of like a horror flick, a financial horror flick. So we're at Tyreek the 13th. And marrying Tyreek is like walking under a ladder. But you get an ATM at the end. Let's see. Tyreek needs a spiritual ayahuasca retreat in the middle of the Amazon. Okay. All right. As long as it's really far away from here. Yeah, Tyreek and Antonio Brown. That's the perfect pairing right there. When you see those together, that's when I think everybody in the Dolphin front office is jumping off buildings and bridges. It's unfortunate how so many of you nincompoops need shit to hit the fan to learn the lesson, but here we are now, says Dr. Quit. Hope you finally learned. They won't, Dr. Quit. You know why they won't learn? I'll tell you what goes on with football fans. More than any other sport, there's a Neanderthal gene. Football has, out of all the fan bases, the dumbest fan base is football. Take it from somebody that's been doing talk radio for 35 years. I talk to all kinds of fans. The dumbest fans overall are football fans in general. And I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. And they accept criminals and whatever. You remember Ray Lewis? There were women in Baltimore wearing Free Ray shirts. They just watched a video of him smacking down his woman, spitting on her first, smacking her down, and dragging her like a sack of potatoes. And just because he can get 3.5 yards a carry, it was a Free Ray Lucas. Free Ray. What is it? Ray. What was it? Ray. What was the kid's name? Was it Ray Lewis? No, not Ray Lewis. Ray. Was it Lucas? What was it? What was the kid's name? The one that smacked the woman. What was it? Ray Rice. Thank you, Yams. Appreciate you. They had Free Ray Rice shirts. Women. That's how stupid we have of a fan base in football. They're the most forgiving fan base because, oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. Oh, you raped all those women? No, we're in line. No, we want to sign him also. But, Cleveland got him. But some of you wanted him. There were some Dolphin fans. Come on, a buddy of yours. You got a coworker. Somebody said, oh, dude, I'm so tired. I need to win. I don't care, bro. I don't care. Bring him over. Deshaun Watson. Some people wanted him. After all that you heard, Dr. Quit, you know it. I'm sure you know it. Anthony, Luke, Josh, Noble Sports, all of you all know somebody that was forgiving of any of these idiots. Jimmy Johnson. Didn't matter what Lawrence Phillips did. He was still going to try to bring him here. Didn't matter. Did not matter. There's a Neanderthal level. Poor Jordan Reed, the tight end from Florida. Not a bad person at all. Not like any of these scumbags that we're talking about. No. But poor Jordan Reed, he had like 9 concussions. Do you think the league gave a shit about him? No, they kept signing him, and he kept wanting to play. And he's super talented. If it wasn't for the concussions, there's no doubt in my mind Jordan Reed would have been one hell of a tight end. I know he's a Gator or whatever. Stop that shit. Okay, poor kid. I fear for his future. With he had 9 concussions that we know of. They don't care. Fans don't care about. We don't care about a player. Earl Campbell is in a wheelchair. None of us give a shit what happens to these players after. We don't give a shit what's happening now. Can you score a touchdown right now for us? Can you throw the touchdown? Can you block? Oh, wait, you committed murder? Well, wait a minute. Are you free now? Okay, let's go. Like, there's a level of Neanderthal when it comes to football that it just does not exist in all the other sports. Not at that level. It exists in every other sport, but not like football. We have a special kind of stupid in football when it comes to, a base of the fans. And when I saw women wear free Ray Rice shirts, that's all I needed to know. That was the point where I reached my life in sports, and I said, my God, how stupid can people be? How disgusting can people be? These are women wanting Ray Rice just because they want to try to win in football, because that's the most important thing in their lives. And that's sad, man. That's sad. That's sad. So I hope it's a lesson for the Dolphins. I hope it's a lesson that maybe they'll learn that, you know what, man, when the person's not a good character person, don't take the gamble. If you want to take a chance with those kind of people, make sure you're giving up practically nothing in the situation. Not a bunch of picks and not a bunch of salary. Be the team that gets him on the low end, on the low-hanging fruit. Don't be the team that gets him, on an oversold price, which is what the Dolphins did. They got him on an oversold price, and now you're not going to milk him for what you needed him, because he already had a down season last year, and in the first 2 seasons, he had moments where he did not come up big. 2 years ago, when he talked all that shit about Kansas City, and he shit the bed right there. Lost the game all by himself. So this whole thing, and they're stuck with him. They're stuck with him. They're stuck with him. They got no choice. They let him go. They lose cap space. They do him a favor. They can't replace him, and they have less money. And, the good thing is for you all out there that are dying to fire them, right? Because, as much as I don't believe in Mike McDaniel, I would love for him to prove me wrong this year, because really I don't need change. We all don't need change, because as I told you last week, we're 3 years away from starting the rebuild. Are you listening to me? We're 3 years away from starting a new rebuild. This year's a waste. The next year, you still have salaries, a whole bunch of them that you're stuck with, like Tua and others. And then in year 3, like if you hire new people next year, that year's a wash. That year, you're still waiting for dead cap and salary space and all that. 3 years from now will be the first year, if you have a new regime, is when they start to rebuild. I'm not sure exactly, you're following the reality of all of this. So, and I really don't want that. I would love Mike McDaniel to just prove my ass wrong and eat a lot of crow this year and say, wow, I was really wrong. The guy put up 12 wins, won a game in the playoffs. Holy shit. It's impressive. Would love that. But so 3 years. Okay? It's just hard. You've committed all this money. You can't just get out of this stuff. So there'll be cap hits, brutal cap hits over the next 2 years if you are rebuilding. Okay? It's crazy. Right, Cecil Collins, no bull sports. No matter what he did in assault of a woman, all that, Jimmy Johnson, he didn't care. There was a defensive end that tried to commit suicide, and he had the scar all the way across. He played for the Dallas Cowboys, and I think maybe drafted by the Bears, and then he came here for like, I don't know, a week or something, or two or something, and I'm trying to remember his name, and I swear to you, when we had that press conference with that guy, I felt like I was talking to somebody that was not sane, and I was, oh my God, they're bringing this person into the locker room. Forgetting the guy's name now, but he literally had a cut across his neck from an attempted suicide. It's just, they don't care, bro. Nobody cares. Fans don't care about players. Front office, coaches, players don't care about other players. They'll take cheap shots at each other and dirty shots that will knock each other out, even though they're all fathers and brothers and sons and husbands. They all belong to somebody. They all, and you're like Harrison would take a dirty shot at somebody's head and concuss the shit out of him, and take it from a guy right now that is a month and a half in after a concussion, and I am still having symptoms. Okay? I still have symptoms. So, they don't care, bro. They don't care. It's sad. It really is. As long as a player makes a Pro Bowl and the team wins, a lot of football fans wouldn't care if the person was a mass murderer. Sad. Big Nick, South Florida, says, although all you guys that name these horrible things and don't deserve any grace, however, I am noticing a common theme with the players you point out as if there are other guys who had done the same or worse, but it's my brother. I mean, it's not really that hard to not attack somebody at a pier. Is that something that you would do, Big Nick? I don't know, man. I'm near 60 years old. I didn't have to do that. I've gone to maybe 12, 13, 1,400 concerts in my lifetime. I know not to go 60 miles an hour. I've gone to a crap ton of sporting events, maybe another hundreds. I don't know how many it is. 1,000. I don't know. Never went 60 miles an hour at a Heat game or a Dolphins game. Yeah. It's never filed. I've been married with my wife for 31 years. I never filed for divorce by accident or it's just, it's nice for people to say, well, we got to be a little bit more understanding. No, bro. No, we understand with people that make a mistake or two, but constant fuck ups, people that want to quit on your team, people that just aren't committed, people that are constantly making mistakes in their profession. Yeah, I'm sorry. You have to take accountability for your actions. And this is a guy that never takes accountability and never corrects it. Notice how he never corrects his problems. They continue to happen. Yeah. So Demetrius Underwood, Terry, you're a badass, bro. You, sir, are a badass. Thank you, Terry. Demetrius Underwood. I thought he was insane. I thought I was talking to a crazy person. I hope he got help, and I don't know what happened to the man, but he was not in a good place when he was here in Miami. It was like Lawrence Phillips. Lawrence Phillips was, oh my God, he walked around with anger. Like it was like he would walk in the locker room and you'd like look at him like, like, holy shit. It's crazy. I've told this story before. You want to know a fun fact? A fun little silly ass fact that nobody will really know unless you've listened to this show, because who the hell would care even about this stupid fact? I am the only media member in the history of South Florida covering the Miami Dolphins that interviewed Lawrence Phillips. So they signed Lawrence Phillips. I'm doing the pre and post game shows for QAM. And in the pregame, I always had like a focus piece with one of the players. Since I was also the beat guy, I would sit down with one of the players, whoever I'd pick. So they had signed Lawrence Phillips. So I requested Lawrence Phillips. And sure enough, they gave me Lawrence Phillips. I was the first guy to interview him. So there were like 8 other people waiting to interview him, right? So I'd sit down with Phillips, do the interview. I go through it. It was cordial. You know, I didn't push any crazy envelopes. I know who Lawrence Phillips is. Plus, I'm doing it for QAM. I'm doing it for a station. What am I going to do? Hey, why don't you describe when you drag that woman down the stairs by her weave? So, you know, what type of style were you using there, Lawrence? What kind of lesson were you trying to teach her? No, I can't say that. You know, I can't tell them, hey, so what'd you think, huh? Tom Osborne hid you all the way to the bowl game, huh? That was a sharp move, huh? Really kept you out of the spotlight. You show up at the bowl game and that was good, right? I wasn't going to do anything like that. So I did a regular interview, getting a chance with the Dolphins, yada, 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 all that typical bullshit, right? So I'm done. Thank you for the interview. I walk away. The next guy, okay? The next guy, and remember the name because it's a name that's front and center now. He's a head coach in college football. The next guy, the first question out of his mouth says, hey, Lawrence, have you spoken to Scott Frost? And if you don't know the history, the girl he dragged by the weave down a couple flights of stairs and obviously got suspended for it and all that, Scott Frost and him were fighting over that girl when Scott Frost was in Nebraska with Lawrence Phillips. Scott Frost now is a head coach. So, you know, but it's, and right there, the media person goes, nope, that's it. No more interviews. So the guy got to ask the question, never got an answer, never was ever able to book an interview. It was never, because he never even got I was the only, after that, nobody ever interviewed Lawrence Phillips again. He was only here for like another week or two. So it just, again, they, you know, it's a hairy situation. What can I tell you? Let's see, what else do we have? And thank you, Josh, and thank you, Dan B. A bunch of you coming in through with Demetrius Underwood. Thank you, Jay Luna. You guys are studs. Thank you, ladies and gents out there, always supporting us. I appreciate all of you out there. Michael Pulisic, is he still that stupid? Race with the track guy. Of course he's going to stupid shit. You know what's so typical of Tyreek? He'll do that stupid race and he'll blow his hamstring in that race, and then he'll jeopardize his season. That's so typical of what would happen here. You know what I mean? It's just terrible. So I don't know. Hill has a chemical imbalance. Add that to being a brat, and you have an unstable malcontent. All right, Joseph. Last I heard of Underwood, he spent 4 years in prison. Really? Wow, I'm not surprised. I can't tell you I'm surprised. It was a scary interview. That's all I can tell you. It was a scary interview. I probably have it recorded somewhere. You know that? Probably have it recorded somewhere. I don't know where, but I probably do in some cassette somewhere because I have boxes loaded with cassettes from back in the day in the 90s and in the very early 2000s. And so there's, oh my God, well, maybe not early 2000s, probably 90s. We're probably out of the cassettes by the 90s. But yeah, oh my God. Yeah, I remember that. It's crazy shit, dude. Crazy shit. Mike No-Go Zones, what's up, baby? And on a day, by the way, where crypto bounces back, the market bounces back big, we get this Tyreek Hill thing. Ray Martinez, thank you for the love, sir. He says, good evening, my brother. No comment on Hill. Just take advantage of him for this upcoming disappointing season. Yes. Yeah, I'm so afraid of this season. You know, I'm just going to expect the worst and hope for the best. That's the only thing I can do with this. It's the only thing I can do. You know, I don't know how you guys are looking at it, but, you know, so let's see. Just got out of work and turned on the show. What's going on with Reek? You can rewind so you can get like the story cam. You might want to rewind a little bit, my brother, and get it from the beginning. That way, you know, you'll get the whole deal there. Why do people put more onus on professional athletes than they do politicians or law enforcement? None of them deserve. They should earn it. Okay? They should earn it. Anyone can be a leader. It could be a politician. It could be somebody in law enforcement. It could be an athlete. But shit, dude, let's do it with the right people. Okay? Let's admire Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? So if we're going to admire somebody that does things the right way. That's what we're supposed to do. That's our problem. Look at Saquon Barkley. The guy's done everything the right way. He went through a difficult situation with the Giants, went through several injuries. He was injury prone as hell. He became the most durable back and the best back in the NFL the last 2 years. And he led the Eagles to a Super Bowl, and he handled every situation with class. Let's put those people on the pedestal. There's a lot of people that deserve to be there, and they could come from being a teacher to anything else out there, dude. You can admire a business owner. He or she carries themselves the right way and treats people the right way. We can admire anyone in any walk of life, but damn it, dude, let's put the people there that actually deserve it, you know? And that's the problem, that we put too much trust in the wrong people at times. And yeah, it's a right and a wrong statement. Everybody's not a role model, but role models should be earned, not something that's given. And that's our problem. We're too quick to give somebody young, somebody hasn't earned it, somebody we haven't seen enough. You need to watch somebody for a few years to see if they can handle all these situations. And then you learn what a professional is. You know, that's what it's all about, dude. Look at Barkov. My God. That's the guy you put up there for your kids. You know? Alonzo Mourning. These are people that, you know, these are the people that you admire, dude. That they carry themselves. PJ Brown, you know, it's just like there are people that just carry themselves impeccably. So let's put those people up like, you know, role models and idols and heroes. Let's leave the fuck ups behind. Just because they have talent doesn't mean shit. Look at Tyreek, all that talent, and he just can't act like a normal human being. Let's see. The only difference between Urban Meyer off the field with the Jaguars and Meyer with Florida, Ohio State is simple. A scumbag coach's flaws sure shine when they're 2-11. Yeah. And in Florida, he had like 30-something arrests, dude. He was a scumbag there too. So Urban Meyer's always been a lowlife. That's all. It piled up so much. And yet they're still talking about it the last couple of years. Maybe they'll bring Urban Meyer. You know, it's like, really, dude? Like, it's so. Oh, is there a detail in Hill's contract that the Dolphins can cut his ass? No, they're already guaranteed. They're stuck with him, dude. I'm telling you already. They're stuck with him. So, Nobody's Fool says Underwood later spent 2 months in protective care and was diagnosed with bipolar disorder after he escaped from a psychiatric care facility. He was released by the Dolphins on December 17th. Yeah, I would not be surprised, dude. I was there for that interview, and I left disturbed. I was like, this is not what you sign. You don't sign people like this. This is not a person you put in your environment. And I could tell just from one interview, I could tell that guy did not belong in a football locker room. And it just shows you how ruthless it is of a sport and how people just don't give a shit, you know? So, D Mouse says, more advertising, please make your money. Well, folks, you can. By the way, if you want to be an advertiser on our show, the number is 786-754-4664. So you say it's screwing around, but I say, hey, man, you can step up and support our show. It would be pretty awesome if you could. If you got a business, go for it, baby. Please support our show. All right? Get it done. There's our business line right there. All right? All right, folks. We appreciate all of you out there. We appreciate, don't forget to please smash the hell out of the like button. It's very important. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock. By then, Tyreek Hill could be arrested another 2 or 3 times. By 3 o'clock tomorrow at Hialeah Park, Tyreek Hill could have impregnated at least 4 or 5 women. There's a lot of things that Tyreek Hill can do from now to 3 o'clock. Who knows what we'll talk about then? See you on Thursday.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.